Hey everyone! So I'm gonna finally show you my project life 2018, January through June, just about the start of June. So I'm excited. This is a huge album. So let's get started. Oh my goodness, this thing's a beast. So I decided to go with an 8.5 by 11 album. I thought, you know, that'd be fun. That'd be a fun change. In the end, it was a little bit harder than I thought, just getting things from 3 by 4 down to the size. I think it's just about 2.5 by 3.5. It's a little bit trickier than I thought, especially if I used a physical kit. If I went and used a digital kit, it wasn't so hard. And cropping the photos wasn't exactly easy. But I opened with a black and white spread using Elle Studio, a card I had, some family selfies that I took, regular ones I guess, and then some silly faces, which is just the best. And then just a variety of Elle Studio black and white and gray cards. And then an acrylic piece right here that I matted on a transparency. I think this is actually Colorcast Designs. And then I put our ages, what some of our favorite things are. And then this is week 1. Elle Studio again, and just the highlights. And then just staggered some stickers. Elle Studio again. And a collage right here, and I left a space. And just highlights again. This is in a Creative Bubble, using the digital supplies from In a Creative Bubble, and just using the stamps and just cutting them out and just doing journaling right here. And I did a green pen to kind of match here. For a long time, I didn't think I was going to finish this album. I really did not think I was going to complete it. But I'm glad I stuck with it, and I really tried my hardest to finish it, and I did. So I'm very excited about that. Now if I could only just finish a summer album, that would be great. Week 4, I did Ali Edwards. I think it's For the Love. And I did red, black, and red, blue, and gray. And I just cut out a bunch of stuff once again. Week 5, I don't think I put the number anywhere, but I used In a Creative Bubble, and I really like it. This photo is hilarious. My son likes to do this all the time when I'm taking pictures of projects. He likes to either do something goofy, like put his head in there, do a hand gesture, like a peace sign. He's a funny guy. Week 6, and I just stamped it, and I used Ali Edwards type, and I just did a variety of colors. In a Creative Bubble again, and I tried something different with kind of following this photo, and then because my photos had so much blue in them, and this one had some red, I went with blue, red, and black. Week 7. And then I did an insert for Colorcast Designs when I was on the design team because she came out with a travel set. So I did this page for our Reno trip, and I stacked some of the acrylics and some here, and then everything else is in a Creative Bubble. So then just a little insert. And then I carried this stripe. I cut and pasted that stripe onto that card so that way it would match this one. And then this one was kind of just a hodgepodge page because we finished out the rest of the week after we got back. And so I just included weather, what we did on the weekend, and then spring coming. This one was going to be the start of March, and I didn't want to start a week on this page. It would just drive me bonkers. So I used a super old Colorcast Designs, finally used it, and some Ali Edwards, just a mix of chipboard and stickers. Called it done. Moving into week 9, I used details. I have a process video for this. I actually had this done, or the pieces, for so long for this spread for this week, and I just couldn't finish it. I don't know why, but I just couldn't. But stamping these phrases was just the best. I thought that was the best idea, and it really helped to bring the whole spread together. This was for Kellie Stamps. I think this is the only week where I actually did Kellie Stamps, which I try not to do. Like if I do a manufacturer or a maker of a product, I try to do at least one more week of that in the album, but I'm not sure if I did for Kellie Stamps, but that's okay. So I did this fun green color scheme, a little bit different, but I had a lot of yellows and greens and browns in my photos, so that's kind of where I got my colors from. And I used her new stamp set that had come out. I think it was called Fantastic Together, and it has a bunch of these phrases. So I just put those throughout. Week 11 is Elle Edwards, Stories by the Month, and I just mixed in a bunch of cards, spring cards, and St. Patrick's Day cards, and a bunch of chipboard. This is Ellie's Studio, week 12. I used a bunch of the Noteworthy, and I used these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to match the journaling here. Love this one, it's so colorful. Definitely reminds me of this. That's kind of what I was thinking. Here's week 13 in a Creative Bubble. This is another spread that I kind of just struggled with. I was like, well, why would I want to do a all black and white spread? That seems kind of silly. But in the end, I love it. I did the cutout phrases again, and just a little pop of teal here and here, and some Colorcast Designs, and called it done. Another project for Colorcast Designs where she did some sunshine, outdoor themed pieces, and then I added in Sahin Designs, florals, and fussy cut some stuff. So that way I could document a spring beach day. And once again, just made my own color scheme. Week 14, Ellie's Studio, one of my favorite spreads that I came up with. Just loved putting it together with the stamping and the die cuts, the puffies, and this one just doing a week highlight of the week. Also loved using these labels, the different labels, and the cork. This was another Colorcast Designs project because she came out with the birthday acrylic and some butterflies, so that's what I used. And I think she also came out with this days of the week, so I used that in combination with In a Creative Bubble to make a birthday spread for my husband and I, because we had not celebrated his birthday, like just the two of us, in many years, and we actually got the whole day to go on a hike, go out to eat, and see a movie. So that's like unheard of. Not sure when it'll happen again, but it happened this year in 2018, so I had to document it. This is an Ellie's Studio project. It was Easter themed. I think I did this one recently, but I did lots of these little labels and stamped little phrases on them. I did a little insert with a bunny, and then just another page, and I included the chocolate bunny, and just made it pretty simple. Pretty simple, but I love it. Very colorful, just fun Easter celebration. This one was in a Creative Bubble with another 4x6 insert. I mixed a bunch of her cards together, and I wound up having some physical stamps of hers, so I used that one here. This is Kellie Stamps for the week, and I did another Today's Adventures, and just this is another stamp of hers too. So a whole variety of colors, which to me worked just fine because it was such a spring, colorful week. 16 this week I really struggled with. First of all, I couldn't get the photos to print correctly. I don't know why. I guess my printer did not like that so many of these photos had blue, and it just did not like it. But eventually I reprinted these at Persnickety. So I just had them reprinted at Persnickety to make my life easier. And I used, like I think I said, Elle Edwards chipboard and transparency and some stamped phrases again. And this is just leftover chipboard from something. It's just leftover, so I just repurposed it to be little arrows. And I love how this one came together. stop fighting with it and just bring it together. Week 17, totally spring. I had so many photos that were all green. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All my photos literally are either green or some blue. So that's what I did. And this is when Elle Studio came out with the butterflies, and I went crazy for butterflies. And I had the best time making this card and adding in die cuts, puffy stickers, labels, stamps. I mean, you name it, it's probably on this card. So much fun, and I included lots of different little stories in this spread. This one is another In a Creative Bubble that I had a lot of fun making. I knew I was going to use this as my inspiration, so I recolored the digital stamp to have the same type of coloring, and then I also put it over here. I just clipped it to that, and I also just used a variety of cards to bring this together. Really, really loved how this one came together. This was week 19. I also did a process video for this because this was week in the life 2018. And I decided, since I'd already gone in depth with my journaling in the actual project, I didn't need to do journaling here. So I just went and did a ton of cutouts and just went kind of bananas for those. But I love how this one came together. It's just the words and some fussy cut pieces, and an insert of some of my favorite photos to document that week in this album. Love it. I think these are from a Day in the Life kit from Elle Edwards. This is all Elle Edwards, but this is from a Day in the Life kit that I love. It's so versatile. This is week 20. It is another Elle Edwards spread using Learn, which is definitely a favorite kit of mine. Put some pencils down there. I repeated the stars throughout and little phrases that I fussy cut. And I used some old transparency numbers right there. This is week 21, Elle Studio, that I just recently posted a video for. I love this photo of my kids and I, so I put this awesome die cut there. A little clustering here. I felt like I broke a scrapbooking rule because I cut that in half, but I wanted to include it because we definitely did jump, we definitely did ride, and we definitely did swing. So I'm glad I included that. Lots of fun, bright colors in this one. This is the last week in the project, and I absolutely love it. I think this might be my favorite spread, but I went all out with the colors and bringing in all kinds of supplies from my Elle Edwards stash and using a variety of techniques and products to bring it together. This is week 22, and I layered on a die cut word sticker. This was a card that I had cut because I thought it was going to use for something else. So I had made it 3 by 3, and so I just cut it down to that size. Then I wanted something yellow that matched that yellow, so I made this digitally. Then I loved the card in the Stories by the Month kit that said this, but it didn't fit for the size of my photo. So I decided to cut, stamp and then cut this, so that way I could put it there for that funny photo of my kids smashing my husband. And then I stamped and I put a little sticker and I just included little details. This was fun to make. I stamped and then stamped on a piece of paper, and then what was left over on the stamp I put here. So it's not as bright. So much fun. And then this is the final page. I went with Elle Studio, just like the front, and I went with black and gray and white, just like the front. So I used a bunch of stamps, basically. High five, yes, currently summer, and I just did kind of a few photos to summarize that summer was coming, and that was the next chapter of our life. So there you go. So that is my entire Project Life 2018 album, January through June. So I hope you enjoyed watching this walkthrough. I would love a thumbs up or a subscribe if you're new to my channel. Thanks.